All right, Zeke, physical games. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
Nothing. I'm dying. I'm choking on my water.
What's that?
Fucking hell. Physical games. They are video games, therefore, Satan's spawn and to be gotten rid of.
And that's the end of the video. Thanks for
And
watching,
that's the end of the
everyone.
video.
Today we are talking about physical games. I don't quite know what we're talking about. I have a feeling you've some pushback on it though. So why don't you take us away?
Yeah, basically, you made that video the other day about the importance of owning physical games, and I think there's a lot of truth in it in a lot of aspects, but I think there was also a lot of things where it's like, I think it does come down to preference, and in other ways, there are a few things where it's like, I feel a complete and strict adherence to it can lead you down some sort of iffy paths, I guess.
Okay, fair.
Maybe we should start with like the obvious things that we agree on, like the downsides of it of digital ownership.
Yeah, basically, digital ownership isn't ownership unless you literally have a file of the game that's completely disconnected from the internet, DRM free on your hard drive. You do not own a digital copy of a game unless you can just physically install it from anywhere on anything that you want. Other than that,
Yeah.
you do not own anything that's downloaded from a server or that has to be server checked or that can be where the license can literally be where the license is kept on a server that can be taken away from you. That is a rental, and that's even specified when you buy something on Steam, for example, or on PlayStation Store. You were buying a key for this game, a rental license that can be revoked at any time. So that's not ownership in any way, shape, or form. So
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
pretty shit.
So that's basically my sense. I'm like, if you want to own your games, either have a pirated version, a DRM free version, or a physical version. And that's basically where I stand on it.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all of that. Like this, and it's just like another way for like we see this in like so many like aspects of like not just like video games, but like it's so many like aspects of life, any sort of like consumerist sort of thing or any other kind of entertainment or art form or whatever. Like all of these industries moving away from like traditional ownership to, you know, like a rental market sort of thing. Like you no longer have like DVDs that you buy anymore. You still can, but like a lot of films are only released on streaming, which is like you don't own any of that. Like you're just like paying like a small fee to have access to a bunch of stuff that can be taken away or delisted or whatever at any time, or even like have the versions changed. Like a different cut of a film gets just like the file replaced and you have no like notice or anything. Like you've got no control there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like so many aspects of life have become like this, like even outside of entertainment, like with fucking like Adobe Photoshop and all of that, like they've gone from like paying a fee to own the programs
That's a
to
rant for a whole
a
other
subscription
day
model.
for me. Oh my! I could
Oh yeah,
I
like
could make a whole other channel dedicated to hating on Adobe. I'd use
no,
Adobe
right,
as
it's
if I use Adobe for my livelihood, and I'm like, how are these bastards industry standard? Their software is shit. Their business practices
no
are
yeah,
abhorrent. It's oh my god.
no, it's abysmal. It's like it's actually fucking cancerous and it's
Yeah.
so shit. So like I it's like trying to find any sort of like, you know, small ways you can like, claim that ownership back in life is like a good thing. And, buying games on like Steam or the PlayStation Store or whatever, like, yeah, that's just you are just like buying access to a license. Um, which can be revoked at any time and you would have zero legal recourse. Um, like it's literally there in the fine print that you agreed to.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's bullshit. Like, because you're spending your money on these things. Like, you expect to have like at least access to it for as long as possible. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's stupid. And
I,
but then you've got things like GOG, which like provide DRM free downloads of games, which is a lot better. That's a kind of digital ownership that like is really good. But there's still that issue of like, GOG only has so much, and they can still remove things from their storefront and all of that, and their servers. Um, and there's not really a whole lot you could do about that unless you
I
like
know. I'll also add to
unless
the
you
GOG
download
thing.
every single game
Yeah.
that you purchase like immediately and you have
Uh,
it all backed up.
Also with GOG, I love GOG as well. I love what they're trying to do. Um, but it's like a lot of the older games on GOG, and the same can be said for Steam anyway, which is even worse. But like, I've downloaded so many games off GOG that just don't fucking work. I'm like, you're selling this, and like you're giving us no way to play it like on a modern computer. And I know like they can't do that to every game, and I know they do it to some games to kind of make it play on modern computers. But when you're giving over money for something, you expect it to fucking work, and it just doesn't some of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I know I haven't ran into it on GOG just yet because my GOG library is kind of small. But on Steam, like I know for a fact that if you buy and download Max Payne 1 and 2, neither of them will work on Windows 10. Like they
Mm,
just flat out will not fucking work. You need to like look up fan patches in order to get that shit to run, which is ridiculous because they're still selling it for money. And like these are like not only like kick-ass awesome games, but they're like historically important too, you know? Like and Remedy is still making games.
yeah.
Like this is still a relevant IP.
That's a good first point actually to bounce off of because, but what would we rather them do? Would we rather them delist it, even though it doesn't work? Like, what? See, that's a tricky one there because it's either that or delist it so where you can't buy it, and then but we're complaining about that as well. So how do they win?
Well, I mean, but like that's the thing. Like, if fan patches can get it running, so can they.
Yeah,
Like, they can just
fair.
like update the game to like make it compatible. Like, it can't be that difficult.
Yeah,
Like,
fair.
and like honestly, if they really can't, I would rather them just delist it instead of selling some like a faulty product. Like you're selling something that doesn't work. Like that's that shouldn't be allowed. But then that kind of gets into like another thing. Like all of this is like, within the realm of like legality. Like these are legal means of accessing games, which I think is just inherently limiting because like then you're just beholden to what these publishers and these platform owners like show to you. Like they filter things out, like things that they deem unimportant or anything, So you're inherently getting limited like to what you can access.
Yeah, absolutely. And even previous versions of games, like games before certain patches and stuff, unless you have a physical version of a game printed on a disc, or you have an older version on a hard drive that can boot, that doesn't need a mandatory patch, you're never going back to that version of the game, and that hurts me so much. I know patches most of the time are just to fix bugs and make the game better, but a lot of the time they're patching things out that just aren't that just like they're changing the game, like they're physically changing the game.
Yeah, and even even from like a historical viewpoint, like it, being able to go back to version 1.0 or whatever was like the first like retail release, like that's important. Like knowing what a game was like on launch before um any changes were made, like that's important to like know.
Yeah,
Like giving players the option to like download patches of course, but also like be able to like switch choose from a list like the updates. Like if you want to go back, like roll it back to the first version, you could, or maybe like you go up a few versions just to see like what's different, or maybe like a new patch comes out like what happened with Jack X on PS4, where a new patch comes out and it completely fucking breaks the game, and then like what else you meant to do but like hope they patch it again.
see,
Like
I wish I could get that patch for that game so I could do a Jack X no wheels run. That would be my dream come true.
No, yeah, and it's funny because like when Jack 2 released on PS4 in PAL territories, it was like slowed down and
Yeah.
everything.
Uh,
And when that came out, I was like, "Oh, this sucks." But I still got the platinum trophy
yeah.
when it was like that because I was just like, I just want to play it. But
It's
like,
it's a piece of Jack
it
history
like
now.
yeah, like literally, actually same. We've talked about like all the Jack games on PS4 and how fucking busted they are. But like when Jack 1 first released on PS4, there was that 50-60 hertz glitch where if you kept switching between 50 and 60 hertz, the whole fucking game would break.
Yeah.
And I wish I could play that because
Yeah.
I love like texture corruption. Like that's so fun and interesting.
There is no way to go back to that now, is there? That unless you've never updated that version of the game, that's gone. Because limited run is the latest patch, I think, or one of the later patches.
Yeah, limited run disc is the latest patch. And I think the only way to do it is if like yeah, you never updated it. Or I could be wrong because I'm not really familiar with this scene very much, but if you have a modded PS4, you might be able to roll back the patches or access like the original version from like a third party server or something like that. I'm not
Hmm.
100% sure.
We're agreeing a lot so far, Zeke. What do we disagree on?
I think where my sort of disagreements, they're not even really disagreements necessarily in some aspects. They're more so just like kind of different perspectives, I guess. Is the literal physicality of needing to like own a game. I think owning a physical thing is cool and it's neat, but I don't really think it's the be all end all of having access to these games, even like older ones, you know?
Okay, that's very fair. Yeah, if you no, I could definitely see an argument where like yeah, it's more convenient just to have all this stuff on a hard drive that isn't connected to any form of fucking server. It's just more convenient to boot them up from like have a bunch of them on a hard drive where you can just have them easily accessible. For me, the physicality side of it comes to like it's just cool to have. It's something to. It's nice, and if it's a sentimental game and it's a game that you really like, that's important to you, like a Jack game, for example. Just having that original copy that you originally had, and then just being like, it's just a sentimental thing, really, and just having that in the flesh, that physically in your hands. Like it's more than just it's more than just having the game, it's having the whole experience still there with you.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Like, there's a few games like I've played digitally, like old games that I've been like, oh, that's a really fucking cool game, and I really like that, so I picked up a physical copy because like it, yeah, like I wanted to own that. And I think that's fine. What I kind of have an issue with is the kinds of people who are like, I'm not trying to ascribe this to you or anything, by the way, but I've seen like a lot of people who are like, they will only play a game if they have a physical version of it. Like all other means be damned, even if they're like, you know, really like straightforward and don't really have any drawbacks when it comes to like, you know, digital ownership or whatever. Even if it's like they're not spending a cent doing it, like it's completely free. Like
Hmm.
unless it's a physical version, they won't touch it. This like kind of plays into like a lot of consumerist sort of behaviors that I am not a fan of, like a lot of collectible culture sort of things, like game collecting. I feel is a whole entirely separate thing from being a fan of playing video games.
Yeah.
There's often overlap, but I feel like they're actually like two completely separate things.
Game collect. This is a complete aside, but game collecting used to be fun. It's gotten to the point now where it's just fucking it's just exploitative now. Um,
And,
it
yeah, and like that's yeah. Go on,
no
sorry.
no sorry, that's basically all I had to say. I think you left it more interesting.
I mean, like, don't say yourself sure. I'm not that interesting. Um, I struggle to think of any hobby that includes like, you know, any sort of um like purchasing of limited sort of quantities of things, like scarce things that hasn't become like completely fucking monetized and exploited and just sucked any sort of fun out of it.
Yeah.
Like you think of like, you know, video game collecting or vinyl records collecting or like anything like that. Um, it's just become like a whole thing where it's like, oh, a bunch of people who don't actually give a shit about this stuff have found out, oh, some people can make money out of this. So
Hmm.
we're gonna like put our tendrils into this subculture and try to extract as much wealth as we can out of it.
This is yeah, no, I completely agree. And this is the reason where I've kind of completely switched, like in recent years, on game collecting, where I don't really care about getting older games anymore. What I care about is getting the ROMs of older games and just emulating them. And I know it's not the same as playing on real hardware, but it's just I don't have the fucking drive in me to go looking on eBay for these absolutely extortionately artificially priced games just for the sake of owning it. So no, I agree. I agree. Like just physical isn't the be on end on because sometimes you just cannot get a physical fucking version of the game like easily. Which is why
Yeah,
emulation
and
is so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of the time, like at least when I used to like be more into like wanting to like have a big collection and stuff, it was like a lot of the games I was buying were games I hadn't even played before. I just heard they were really good, and there were ones that I would probably like to check out. But it's like I'm spending like a lot of money on this old game that I don't even know if I'm gonna like.
Hmm.
And the older the game is, at least for disc-based games, like the more risk you run of it not even working properly. Like at least for me, it became a thing where it was like I was spending a lot more of my time and money and energy looking for cool games to buy and add to the collection TM than I was actually playing them. And I had a cool looking shelf full of cool looking games, but I didn't really play a lot of them.
Then another thing, like another day, I know I'm like kind of killing my own side here, but no, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Another downside of physical is if you have a big collection, moving is such a pain in the absolute
Oh my
ass.
God, yes.
Like, and then you're just paranoid that something's going to get lost, and something is a lot of the time going to get lost, no matter how anal you are about it. And I know that from experience. So if you don't move much and you don't plan on moving again, get as big as a collection as you want. But yeah, that's a big concern to me because I'm just renting an apartment at the minute, and I know I'm going to have to move eventually. And the thought of moving all this shit and being so paranoid about some of the shit I have on my shelf that I'm going to lose, I'm like, oh, it gives me nightmares.
Yeah, and especially if you do have like valuable items, like I'm living in like a rental at the moment and I don't have the majority of my really expensive and rare Jack and Daxter collection with me because like I don't want to like I don't really have the space for it here and I know I'm going to have to like pack it all up and move it again at some point anyway, and I'd really rather not run that risk. So I've
Yeah.
just got it all in storage at my parents' house.
And then you're hoping that nothing happens to that storage, doesn't get flooded, or some fucking it doesn't get whatever, or someone doesn't steal it. It's like, yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
physical comes with a lot of stress as well.
Yeah, like literally, like this is the thing with physical. It's like if you want to own it physically, you've got that one copy, and if that gets busted or it breaks or it gets lost or whatever happens to it because it's a real item in the real world, tough shit. That's wasted money now.
Yeah,
Try and track down a new copy. Hopefully that one wasn't a $300 PS1 game.
yeah, and like it's not to say like I know you can rip the ROM, back it up, but that's not the same. It's not it's your physical copy of it. That's really fucking rare. Like that's not a good insurance policy for it. Where a lot of games it is a lot of like a lot of I do want to rip my entire collection at one point just to have on a hard drive just there. So then if that never happens, I can just like boot them up in an emulator or whatever. But that's not going to replace the physical, my physical original Jack and Daxter. Like it's not going to replace that. It's still going to be gone. And a lot of
Yeah.
people might find that really stupid. Like it's only a piece of fucking plastic, but there's memories attached to that plastic. And I'm just a sentimental. I'm just sentimental. That's just who I am.
Yeah, I get that. Like I've still got the majority of my collection from when I was a kid. Um, but a lot of the stuff that I picked up later on, just like because I was interested in it, I've kind of sold off because like I needed the money. Like
Yeah.
I won't lie, like I spent a lot of money on like some, PS2 JRPGs that I never even got around to. And it's like, well, that's money I could have used on food.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, there's another advantage of physical. You had the option to do that by buying that physically. And I know like a digital, you're probably on about rare games like that would not have that just don't have a market digitally. But even so, like you have the option to sell your physical items on. And I don't think any of the stores are ever going to offer something like that, digital wise.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a good point because like, you can't like this, I mean this is the thing with digital that I see a lot of value in is that you can take a digital file and replicate it perfectly as many times as you want. So if you're stringent with this sort of stuff, like there's no way you can really lose anything.
Yeah,
Like hard drives can break, SSDs can go bust, but like if you've got copies, like you're set. Like if your one copy of a physical game goes bust, well, you've got to spend the money to replace that.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but like it's the if this is complete aside. I'm sorry, this is like the most Xenobite thing ever. But you know what I'm always worried about? Like, how does Google's servers with all those YouTube videos, all that 20 years of YouTube videos, hundreds of millions of them, how have they not lost a single YouTube video? And how did their hard drives not crash and like and like lose like a whole chunk of YouTube videos? I've never understood this.
Uh,
You don't need to answer that.
yeah,
See, this is just completely
no.
off.
Yeah, no. This is something like I think about a lot because we're kind of told to think of the internet as this like very ephemeral thing that just kind of exists in cyberspace, but like no, the internet exists in these enormous data centers where it's
Yeah.
nothing but fucking racks and racks of hard drives. It doesn't take much for these places to like get compromised.
Yeah.
Like because there is no like truly non-physical medium. Like all of these things exist in a physical form of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, I'd say let's hope that nothing happens to YouTube's data centers, but honestly, I don't give enough of a shit.
Fair enough. The internet is physical. That's what we've heard today. The internet is physical media.
The internet is physical media.
So what do we forget? Well, so what were we talking about there? Have we finished that point? Yeah.
I think on like I think so, yeah. But there is like another, like I'm doing the YouTuber thing where I'm imagining like a snarky response to not mentioning something like or an aspect of something that I want to bring up. Something I value a lot is playing on original hardware, like especially like with error accurate display technology for like PS2 and below. It's CRTs, and I fucking love these things. I've got fucking absolute brain rot for these things, and I play most of my games on them because like they look fucking great, and this is how the games were made to be viewed. So I like and I'm also just someone who really values playing a game warts and all. Like if a game shipped with horrible performance, I want to see that. I'm like that is important to me when judging the work. Like, did the team take the time to like optimize this? If not, well, okay, maybe I get a suckier experience, but like that's the game. Like I'm interested to see that,
Yeah.
So a lot of people might say, well, you need the physical copies of a game to like, to play it on the original hardware because emulation's a completely different thing. It's not accurate. And it's like, yeah, I totally agree with that. But like, there are so many ways to play on original hardware without actually having the physical game.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Yeah, just mod your hardware. Play ROMs on it.
Yeah, and that's basically what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point actually. Emulation isn't the only way to play your digital media actually. Yeah, that's a point I didn't even think of.
Yeah, and it's like it cuts out that whole like thing of like, having to track down a specific game you want to play or spend hundreds of dollars on this obscure game that seems interesting to you. Like you cut all of that out, and you can still like you cut out all the time wasted and all the money that you would spend on it, and you still get to play on like the real hardware. Like it's like a win-win.
That's actually a fantastic point. Yeah, that didn't even cross my mind. Literally, you were cutting out that whole exploitative fucking game collecting market. You're downloading a ROM and you're playing the game originally as it was on the original hardware on your CR. That's I love that. I'm gonna steal that idea, Zeke. That is fantastic.
Yeah, please do. Like, and like it also just cuts out like those tendencies where it's like, oh yeah, I'm so in love with video games. Now let me spend all my time not playing them and just like doing something like ancillary to them. Like, finding games and owning them and collecting them is fun, I guess. But like for me, what really matters is the actual content of the game and like getting to actually experience that. And like you do get that with owning a physical game, but like it's not always the first thing on a lot of people's minds when it comes to like game collecting. So like just like being extremely straightforward with like, I'm just going to load up this like SSD on my PS2 with a bunch of ISOs. of all these games I'm interested in, and I just pick one and play it. Like it cuts out all of that. It's like I'm not fooling anyone. I'm not fooling myself. I am here to play a video game and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you just do that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love that. It's a fantastic idea, and that is actually an advantage digital has. Now, not the sense of traditional digital that we're all used to now, but like just having digital copies of games. That's actually a big advantage of that. So that's a fantastic point. And also digital copies of games. To be devil's advocate here, digital copies of games is the only reason we can play a lot of fucking games today. So like the fact that someone has ripped their own physical version and uploaded it somewhere that we can download. A lot of lost games there that you can't actually buy anymore, and that only exist digitally.
Yeah, this is fact. It was proven. The ROM of Super Mario Bros. That Nintendo used for their own emulators on I think the Wii Virtual Console, they downloaded from a rip online.
These fucking
like
companies,
someone's random rip, like they checked like the hash data or whatever it is, like like that wasn't Nintendo's own copy that they were selling.
Yeah, yeah. It's I love how the industry is actively trying to kill their own preservation, but at the same time using the tools that the people that are trying to preserve the games use to profit off. Like, oh my god, you can't make this shit up.
It's ridiculous.
Fuck you, Nintendo. I look like a serial killer with my notes here. I have physical games. I have physicality. I have original hardware. I have the word physic. I have a tick, and I have emulate pirate. So if anyone finds my notebook and I die tomorrow or something, they're gonna think this is some sort of like.
it's like it started good and then it deteriorated.
Yeah. It's my dementia in real time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Martian brought up a good point. And Martian wants to do something like this as well, I think. I actually probably should have invited him. I didn't even think of that. But he brought up a good point about like how like a lot of physical games today are released unfinished, or they're not even on the disc, or they're not even on the they're just released in unplayable states, which is true to a certain extent. Most games do have a playable build, buggy or not, but they are playable from start to finish. But even so, I think that's still important to have a physical copy of something like that, because you can sell it on, you can do something with that, as opposed to downloading it and then just having it there on your console and you can't do anything else with it, and then they can just take it off you whenever they want, basically.
Yeah. See, for me, I think if you're I am not this kind of a gamer, and I never have been, but if you're the kind of gamer who keeps up with, big releases, buying all the big AAA games that come out, and like are keeping on top of like, the industry, quote unquote. I think it is best if you buy physical games, because like if you're going to be spending like, for me in my currency, it's like $120 on a new video game every like, I don't know, month or two for like new releases. I think you should like buy it physically. I don't know. There's just this thing in my brain. This isn't just for video games, but there's this thing in my brain where it's like, if I spend more than $10 on something physical, I feel resistant to it, because spending money on a digital thing it doesn't feel real to me. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm spending that much, I want to like have something I can hold. So if you are that kind of gamer who like, plays on the PS5, on the Switch 2, blah blah blah, like yeah, try and get your games like physically. And then it also cuts down on like egregious download times, especially if you live in Australia. Like you can just pop it in, install it, and well, I guess it's not as simple as it used to be, but it's still more straightforward than having to wait for like a 60-70 gig download.
Exactly. And if you are spending the extortionate amount of money physical games are today, or not physical games, sorry, that games are today in general, you might as well extract the most value you can out of it, and basically they have spent more printing that physical disc, so buy the physical disc because their profit margin isn't as much. That's just my petty
Yeah.
fucking attitude towards it as well. But also
No,
you
literally,
have
yeah.
it, like you have it in your hands, so they don't have control over it either. So they spent more on it to give you more control. Fucking take advantage of it while you still can.
Yeah, and like they're trying to take that control away, like
Yeah.
bit by bit. And yeah, like if you are that kind of gamer who plays like all these big releases every year, having the ability to sell off a game or like a chunk of games that you just didn't care for is like really important. Because like if you're buying a lot of these games day one and hoping for the best, there's bound to be a decent number of them that just don't resonate with you. So like being able to sell them off is like a really good option to have.
Yeah.
I just feel like with older games where, they've existed for a long time, and there's become like a big collector's market around them, and considering that so many means to be able to play them without actually buying them, I think you should take advantage of those means because like it's a lot more effort to like scour eBay or secondhand markets for like a specific copy of a game than it is to like walk into EB Games and pick up a new release. And often more expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So your thoughts on buying a digital version of a really obscure game on the PlayStation Store, for example, as opposed to tracking it down physically or emulating it? And I know your answer to this, but I think it's something I should bring up because I think people might ask about it. And yeah, one you don't own, to put the moral thing in there because I know we don't give a shit about morals here, but I'll throw that out to you.
Are you talking about like a contemporary game?
So yeah, so say for example, Klonoa on the PS Store, where you can just download it instead of going and spending an extortionate amount on it. Would you rather buy it on the PS Store, or would you rather just download a ROM of it and play it on an emulator?
Do you mean the remake or the one that's on the PS3 store?
The one on PS3 store. Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna have an aneurysm. No. Considering how cheap those PS1 games are, I don't think there's necessarily a big problem with just buying it on the PS3 store. Like especially like like considering how ridiculously expensive that game is physically. If you just want to spend like $5 to play it on PS3 with like little hassle, go for it. I don't really see a problem in that. If they like re-release the PS1 version of Klonoa on modern platforms and charge like $20 for it, yeah, I'd have more of a problem with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. My issue comes when it's Nintendo doing it and they release Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for 70 fucking
70 US
quid.
dollars.
Oh my god, like the actual balls.
What the fuck?
Like
I was fucking floored when I saw that. Like the fucking goal on them to like charge so much for this is ridiculous.
the worst thing is, right, I didn't know about the price, and then I had like, it was on my phone, there's this it was an advertised Nintendo thing, and it directed me to the Canadian site, and it said $90, and I was like, "Are you fucking? There's no fucking way. This is $90. This is a troll." And I looked at, I didn't see the Canadian flag until I finished doing all my checks to see if the site was real, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, that didn't make the 70 seem as bad, but still, oh my god."
Yeah, Christ. Yeah, look, I think, I mean, I guess this gets into like ports and stuff. Like, so I think it is really important for like, just the general sort of gamer, who's not super in the weeds, like, the kind of person to record a fucking video about video games, to just like have access to older games. Like having Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on Switch, I think is good. And same with like all the, like the NES and the Super Nintendo emulators that they've got on their service. Like I think that's a good thing to have. But for people who are like more like, respect gaming as like an art form, blah blah blah. If you've got the means to like play the original version, I think you should like make that effort. Like if you've got a Wii, you don't necessarily have to go out and buy a physical copy of these games to play them. Just mod the Wii and play them on there instead of like giving Nintendo more money for games that released 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Especially when like a lot of the times like there are good ports, there are good remasters where like minimal has changed except like, maybe just making them a bit more stable and, upping the resolution or frame rate a little bit. That's cool. If it's like an old game from like the CRT era, I think that's a bit problematic just inherently because of the display technology you're going to be viewing it on. But like it's for most people, it's kind of whatever. But like ones where like they update the textures, quote unquote, where it's like they just replace all the textures with quote better looking ones. Like these aren't remasters, and these are just like these are taking away from the originals. And I think that I hate that the majority of remasters are like that now. Like the Jack remasters on PS3, like as shoddy as they were in some respects, were like mostly pretty fucking authentic.
But Zeke, are you telling me you don't want a Jack 2 remake in Unreal Engine 5? What's wrong with you? It's like I need to keep saying that myself. No, I see. I'm disappointed, Zeke. We haven't disagreed so far. We're basically on the same page with everything. Is there anything we disagree with here? I came in ready for a fight.
Yeah, so was I. Okay, hold on. No, wait, Jack 2 is both our favorite game. Fuck.
Jesus.
I was gonna say like Jack 3 is fucking shit, but then you'll be like, yeah, okay, I see your point. Yeah. Jack 2 is better. I'm like, fuck, no, wait, no.
Why are we so reasonable?
What a character flaw, being too reasonable. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I've got one. Jack is Mar. Go. Floodgates open.
Fuck. No. Okay, look. Maybe if Naughty Dog were actually fucking good writers during Jack 3's development, maybe it could have been a thing. Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
I'm going to clip that bit and I'm going to make it a Jack and Daxter fan theory.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, physical games, for the most part, yeah, they're great, but there is other options. Zeke, I'm so glad we had this conversation because that playing the ROMs on original hardware thing is such a good idea. Like that's something I never even crossed my mind. And
like that's all I've been doing lately. It's so good.
Yeah. I just need a CRT. I had two CRTs and then I moved, and then that's why I hate moving. But
God, I'm gonna infect another person, aren't I? No, you don't understand. Both of my girlfriends now have CRTs. One of them has a CRT TV and a CRT monitor. I also have both. I have 3 CRTs in total. My brother picked up a fucking CRT. I had a viewer on stream one time tell me, "Hey, your CRT rants made me go out and buy one." I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
You're spreading the CRT seed. You're repopulating the CRT population here.
Oh, I fucking wish.
Does anyone make new CRTs?
No, and that's probably never going to happen.
That is so sad. They're going to run out. They're going to run out.
Yeah, these things are not going to last forever. And like even the newest ones are coming up to be like 20 years old, if not older already. Yeah, it really sucks.
Damn. I guess let's let's hit on disc rot. All right.
Okay.
This whole fear of disc rot. I have oh geez, I have nearly 30-year-old things on my shelf I'm looking at here. They still play perfectly, and there's no sign of any wear and tear on them whatsoever because I keep them in their case on a shelf. There is a lot on the internet going around. I don't know if it's true or not about disc rot and how like DVDs and CDs only last 20 years, and I can't help but think that that's complete bullshit.
I think a lot of the fear around it, from what I understand, I'm not an expert, I think a lot of the fear around it is kind of overblown. But like if you just keep things in good condition and you keep them in good, like a good environment, like temperature and everything, they're probably going to be fine for like a long time. There will come a day where like the glue holding the layers of a disc together will separate, and that's when they stop working. I've read somewhere that more recent Blu-rays or something have even shorter lifespans than old DVDs. or something like that. I think Nintendo's Switch cartridges, and that's the thing as well. Cartridges also have their own sort of form of disk rot, where like the electrical charges that hold the data on that like flash memory will discharge, and so all that's on there will just be like gone. This is already, I think this is already happening with NES games. No, if anything exacerbates it or what the like or whatever, anything. I'm not an expert, but like, yeah, eventually, like all this shit will fucking end up in landfill, because they'll just stop working or whatever. But for the most part, I think like, at least with like the disc-based games that I'm familiar with, like a lot of them still fucking work. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it outlives me, I'll be okay.
I feel like I had like a rough structure in my head when I first watched the video, but it's gone now.
And then I came in and I just obliterated it all.
Pretty much.
Tends to be what I do with everything in life.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my outgoing sort of recommendation. If you have a PlayStation 2, a fat model specifically, get yourself a cheap SATA SSD and a third party or first party network adapter for the PS2. First party, you'll have to install like a little tiny mod chip. It's not very hard. And then you can just load up as many fucking games as you want on it, and a lot of them run fucking like perfectly. I've stress tested it with Jack. They run fine. Yeah. So much fun.
Nice.
So good.
Nice.
I just finished in the last 5 days. I started and finished Rayman 3 and God of War.
Oh,
so
living the dream.
Living the dream. And you can download games that were Japanese only that have English patches and they run on the console. Like how cool is that?
That's awesome.
Like I've got a PS1 where the disc drive was replaced with an X station, which is like an SD card reader that emulates a disc drive. So it basically runs pretty much the same as a real game. And yeah, I've got a fuck ton of English patched games on there. It's so cool.
Amazing. Yeah, that is the best option, I think, in this whole dystopian future we are currently living in. Thank you very much, Zeke. I enjoyed this conversation thoroughly.
Yeah.
My pitchfork did not get used, which is unfortunate, but maybe next time.
Maybe next. Well, I'll try and think of a more contentious topic.
Yeah.
Next time.
It's always maybe parenting that always causes fights. So
yeah, maybe like which character in Jack has the best pants or something.
Oh. Clearly, it's Ashlyn. We've sorted this on Xenobyte. It's Ashlyn.
Oh fuck! Wait. Okay. Maybe. Fuck. God damn it.
We agree on this too. Come on.
Wait. Hold on. I need to double check because hold on. Wait, my internet's being really slow.
A lot of the pants design in Jack and Daxter is peak. Just saying. Apart from Daxter's, unfortunately, he just has a Mary jeans.
Yeah. Okay. I'd totally wear Ashlyn's pants. Maybe you're right.
They're even functional. They have holsters and everything. Ashlyn, my favorite dictator.
You're so right, though. She gets like she just throws democracy out the door like in an instant when Vega's just being annoying.
Yeah, no, thank you, Zeke. I really enjoyed that conversation, and yeah, I should have you on more often. And if you ever want me on your channel, then I'm happy as well. Either way.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta do things on my channel.
Yeah, make more videos. Come on.
Yeah.
I know you would like have some form of quality control over your videos, unlike me, but still, come on, make videos.
Yeah, I have a quality control to the point where nothing I do is of good enough quality, so nothing gets uploaded.
Oh, one day we will get that Jack 2 analysis series finished, or Jack 1 analysis series finished.
Oh yeah, that's never getting finished. I'm just Boggy Swamp is going to be the last video in that.
Oh, okay. Is Boggy Swamp coming though? Can I get an exclusive here? Is Boggy Swamp coming?
To a town near you.
Oh.
No, I haven't touched that script in a really long time, and the last time I even looked at it and thought about working on it, I nearly started crying because I was so overwhelmed. Like I have no idea how to approach this topic. But I've got a few other videos, like ideas for them. And I've started work on a few to do before that one. So I'll get something up at some point.
Nice. Link the channel in the description.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this, you know Zeke. So you don't need it, but I have the link there anyway. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you, Zeke.
You can't see, but I've got my thumbs up.
Oh, I put my phantom thumbs up too. There we go.
Cool.
And yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
Good luck to you. Bye.